Hi guys, so in today's video, I used two different eyeshadow palettes on my eyes. So I wonder, can you tell which is which? One of them I used Natasha. Is she upside down? No, she's not. So one of these eyes is Natasha. And then one of these eyes is Elf. So I'm gonna give you a little heads up before we jump into the video. I thought I would do a little and see if y'all can think. But anyway, I created this look using those two different palettes, completely on each different side. So stay tuned to see how it goes, or to see which is which. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's me, of course, Jenny Lee. And today, if you notice, I've got a little bit of makeup on my face already. I did like my base face. And the reason that is because we're gonna do something a little different. So just doing, you know, a regular makeup look with a new palette or an old palette, whatever I normally do. I'm gonna compare. I have the little mini Natasha Denona, and I found these little elves that look so similar. So on one eye, I'm gonna do Natasha Denona. So I think we're gonna pick this side. And then on this side, I'm going to use the elf. Look at these little mini elf, and this is the sugar and cream. I might incorporate a little of this elf too, because this one's a little light, so I think I might use this, but to match this. I mean, come on. Hello, look how similar that is. So I'm gonna try and create the same look on both eyes. Like I said, this will be Natasha eye, and this will be the elf eye. Hopefully I don't get them messed up, but we're gonna go for it. So let's see, and if so, then that means the elf, even if you bought both of these elves to replace this, it'd be nice if I showed you, to replace this one, the elves are $3 a piece, as this is $25. So $6 to $25 is still a heck of a bargain. So let's see if it's a dupe or not. Now I'm gonna try to just use this one. The only thing I'm a little worried about is this color right here. It's really, really light compared to this color. So I'm probably just gonna use, well, the shimmers that match. So we'll see though, what I end up doing. I really don't know. So I'm gonna bake a little bit under my eyes just to bake it. I like to bake it. Any fall down, I really doubt these are gonna have a lot of fallout or anything like that. But I still like to bake right here. I really have a lot of creasing and I lose my makeup in that area. Older girl problems. So the powder I use on my face and that I'm gonna be baking my under eyes with today is the Maybelline Fit Me. And it will show you I used this foundation, the Do You Too Faced, my e.l.f. concealer is what I used, Cover FX primer, and that's pretty much it. Oh, and I did do both of these. Physicians Formula Contour Cream and the Color Pop in the color Cool It. All right, now that you're caught up, I'm going to bake under my eyes. Just in case you wanted to know what's on my face. My usual though. Now I picked two different brushes that look very similar. My Morphe blending brush that I really like, and this is another Morphe blending brush, so that way that I'm not at all contaminating, mixing the colors, so we get the real, okay? So to start off, I'm going to start with Natasha. This is our Natasha eye, and I don't know why I closed it, now I can't open it. And we're gonna go in with, yes, this gold shade right here is what I'm gonna start with my crease, because it matches that one. All right, so we're gonna start with that. And I'm using the black Morphe for Natasha side. Ooh, I got powder everywhere. I haven't used a shimmer in my crease in so long, but like a year ago, 2 years ago, I was all about the shimmers. I would never use a matte. I mean, I never used mattes. I love myself a shimmer. Crease, everything was shimmery. And now I'm like, how did I do that? Like, but when you're in it, you don't think about it, but it actually looks really, really good. I was a little like hesitant to use the shimmers, but those are the colors that really, really in this palette call my name to, or, you know, match to me. That makes me like, whoa, those are dupes for sure. So, but don't be afraid to use a shimmer in the crease. I mean, look, it's beautiful. I mean, we haven't done the e.l.f. one yet, but I know it's gonna be, e.l.f. is great products. All right, so now we're gonna jump over to the e.l.f. I'm putting down that brush and picking up my e.l.f. brush. Well, it's not technically an e.l.f. brush, it's a Morphe brush, but I'm using it for the e.l.f. side. I don't have an e.l.f. blending brush, or I would use it because that would be funny. Anyway, we're gonna go in with the pretty gold color on this e.l.f. one. And this is the e.l.f. Cream and Sugar palette. Like I said, I may dip into the other one a little bit, but I don't want to keep like winking at you guys. I may dip into the other one a little bit, but I'm not sure yet. We'll see how the look goes. I have to like catch myself because I'm really bad. I'll go like touch up this side. I just in my head was like, oh, I should jump over here a little bit. Whew. It's actually harder than you think to stay on one side. Now this school doesn't appear to be getting quite as orange as the Natasha one. It's a little more shimmery, I'm noticing, as Natasha has a little more, I mean it's shimmery but has more color to it. As this, see, it's got more gold shimmer. This is more of an orange. I mean, this is beautiful. All right, I didn't think I was going to use like the lighter colors in the palettes just because they are kind of, well, not kind of, quite a difference, but I think I'm going to use them anyway just so we can show the difference in the eyeshadows and to show off the eye palettes themselves. So I'm going to use those colors too. So I'm going to use every color basically that is a dupe. So basically every color except for this little guy. Yeah, this little guy doesn't get to come to the party. And once again, I have two separate brushes. This is going to be for Natasha and this is going to be for e.l.f. And we're gonna start with Natasha, and I'm going, oh, I've grabbed the wrong palette. I grabbed the e.l.f. I have my sides, and somehow she got on this side, and well, I'm putting Natasha back where she goes. I don't know why they are moving around on me. So I'm gonna take Natasha, and I'm going in with this color, and I'm gonna move it above that crease color. I'm very light with it. And this I do know is going to be different on the other one. So I wasn't going to use it, but I want to show both palettes, you know, the colors that are similar off. I'm not going to go quite to the top. I'll use highlight to go there later. Or I might use some of the eyeshadow too, actually. It looks funky now, but it'll look good later. All right, now we're gonna move over to this side. I got powder here, so it's getting over everything. And I'm going in with the lighter one. But it's the same, like, you know, color scheme. It's just a little lighter. Actually, quite a bit lighter. So this is where it's really gonna make the look different. So this part, you know, I'm aware is not doofy, but all right, now I'm gonna go back in Natasha and with a new brush. This is a gold Morphe brush. I'm gonna dip into this light color right here and I'm gonna bring it in the brow area. I'm gonna bring it down a little more than like I probably normally would with a brow highlight, just so it can kind of make them look similar. This is the e.l.f. one, and this is the e.l.f. shade we're using right now. So now I'm gonna go in with the dark color. This is where I'm a little worried too. as I was with the lighter color, because this one is reddish. It has an obvious red tint. And then my e.l.f. little mini, it's not quite, when I swatch it, it does have a little of that redness, but it's not quite as much as the Natasha. So I'm lightly gonna do it, but like I said, you know, I'm gonna just show the differences. Of course, they're not gonna be spot on, but we're just going to create similar looks. So on to the Natasha, and we're going in with the red. So I'm going to be using my Ruby brush. I found this brush, I found it. It's in like my cup of brushes, but I noticed it, and I'm like, oh, she used to be my all-time favorite. I think I got her in an Ipsy bag or something. She was like my first brush that got me into brushes. Like we'll say like 3, maybe 4 years ago, I didn't use any brushes. I did all eye looks with my fingers. Yes, I did. I did all my eyes, I mean everything. I didn't use a single brush, I don't think, for any step. Crazy now thinking about it. Don't know how I ever did that, but that's true tea. My sister actually is the one who's like, hey, I've been using this brush or that. And I'm like, nah, I don't know. And then when I got, you know, little brushes like this from Ipsy, I started playing around with them, and it really changed my makeup game. So if you don't use brushes for whatever reason, maybe, you know, play around with them, get some little cheap ones. I mean, e.l.f. Wet n Wild have great brushes at great prices. Experiment with them, because it really ups your skill. It's like going from finger painting to, like, you know, painting on a canvas with brushes. So in with this, now that I went on, I'm kind of tapping it first, and then I'll kind of swish a little bit and blend it. Well, see why I liked her so much too. She just really gets right in there, and some are too big, or they're too small, or they're not fluffy enough. She's like perfect. And I bring it down a little bit on the side. If you see, I'm kind of sweeping it across the side. Kind of make a little line, and then color that in. So now I'm gonna go on my e.l.f. side and try to do the same thing over here. Found a brush, it's very similar to that brush that I have. It's one of my Morphe Jeffree Star ones. It's got a very similar style. So I think it'll work just as good as Ruby. And Natasha did not go on quite as red as I thought she was going to. So I think it's gonna actually look a little closer than I thought. I'm gonna do the same thing, make a little line, kind of. So it just, you know, blocks out that side a little bit. It's funny because now that I use 2 different brushes, I think that Jeffree Star brush, I liked it a lot better than the Rose, or what is the name of this guy? Oh, no, I was gonna say Rose, I don't know why. But this Ruby that was my favorite brush, Jeffree Star I liked it better. The bristles were a little more fluffier, I guess, but it was better for that. For the blending in this area. This is a better packer maybe, but that shocked me. So this test is also showing me what brushes might be better for different situations. Now I've only got one like fine brush like this. I have another one, but it's more finer, and I just feel like it would make it look too different. So I think we'll just be better off using the same brush, but I have my little, what I call my shade shifter, so I'll use that in between. I don't think it's gonna be a problem. I mean, I do it all the time, but you know, I was trying to use different brushes if I could, but I think it's gonna affect the look a lot more if I try to use the other fine brush. So I'm gonna grab it and show you guys what I'm talking about. So yeah, I have this one, and it's just, I don't know, to me it's too fine. And it's gonna be more of a tight line. So we're just gonna use the same brush. And we're gonna go in with our Natasha side, and go in with the dark color, and I'm just gonna bring it in a little bit right there, kind of connect it in my underneath. I'm gonna really shade shift it. That's what I call this whole thing. I don't know what the real name is, but I think shade shifter or shade shift color, is that what I call it? Color changer. That's not what I normally call it though. I call it something funky. All right, it's clean. Probably cleaner than it normally is. For real, just saying. So we're going in with our e.l.f. and we're gonna do the same thing. And I'm gonna take my setting spray and I'm gonna spray my little setting spray area because I like to dip my brush in it. I don't know why. I'm a dipper. I don't dip my food. Well, yeah, mustard, not ketchup. So I'm going with the Natasha and we're gonna do our lid and we're gonna use this color, but I'm gonna dip my brush. I got my Jeffree Star shader into my setting spray first because I do that with all of them, all my lid colors for the most part. This would be the stage in the game I would mess up. I'm just gonna use the same brush and like bring it down. And it's just the same color, that lid color. All right, now to the e.l.f. side, I got my different shader brush, dipping it into the same setting spray, and I'm going into with my lid color. Wow, these are so gorgeous. Like, they both are like gorge. Definitely need to use these both. I've had them both for a while too. And I don't use them that much. Definitely need to change that. I'm gonna use this brush and I'm gonna sweep all the powder away. I'm gonna attempt to do a little bit of eyeliner. I'm gonna try to go thin. This is where I could totally mess it up. Don't want to go too thick or anything because I want to be able to really still see the eyeshadows and stuff. I'm going to use my go-to e.l.f. And we'll start on the e.l.f. side. But this is all, of course, going to be the same. This was just the eyeshadow comparison. So I'm going to use the same eyeliner, mascara, and all that, of course, so you can see. You don't want to use different because then you don't know what's making them look different. Is it the eyeshadow or is it the mascara, you know? All right, I'll try to just leave it just like that. I just hope I don't mess this side up. Now my next step is going to be to find your sharpener and sharpen up your pencils. If you're like me, they're always dull and they need a good sharpen. I'm gonna take my freshly sharpened black Wet n Wild eyeliner and I'm gonna go right in the outer, right in this corner. Never know what to call that corner. I guess my outer corner. And I'm gonna put a little bit up here. I just look up. Not really sure if that does much of anything, but I do it anyway. It doesn't like hurt my eyes or anything, more or less just dries them out. It feels like keeping them open too long. Now I'm gonna take my NYX, my white one, and I sharpened it too, And I'm gonna pop it in the inner corner. She normally goes on a little better than that. Now I'm gonna throw on some Pat McGrath. It's a little sample mascara that I got from Sephora. I'm gonna throw that on both eyeballs. And then when it dries, I'll curl my eyelashes, of course, and then we'll see how they look. We're gonna use Hoola bronzer. And I'm gonna use the Kaleidoscope, or Kaleido Cosmetics. Kaleidoscope, those are those things you look in and see different little colors. I'm trying to open this, right? And I know what a kaleidoscope is, but this is Kaleido, which I think this came like in an Ipsy bag or something like that, but it's a very pretty blush. And I'm trying to see what the color is. Prima Donna. Ooh. And it's got like a shimmer. I love a good shimmer. It's like a glow to it too. It's really pretty. So I'm just gonna stay right in line with my little minis that I'm going, my little Benefit. So we're gonna use the Benefit Dandelion Twinkle Highlight. This is what it looks like on the inside. It's a really pretty highlight. I'll use my fingers. I normally do use my fingers. I was gonna try it with a brush, because the blush had a lot of highlight in it itself. So I really don't need that much more. But you know your girl likes a lot of highlight, so. All right, for my lips, I'm gonna throw on NYX. It's the Lingerie Push-Up, and it's in the color, I'm so bad at finding where the colors are. I should definitely look this up before, but I always forget even when I do. It's Silk Indulgent. So these are really, really good. I've noticed, maybe it's just my lips, I do have dry lips, that you definitely want to put a gloss over it because it is very matte. And it's supposed to be like a plumper too, but it works great with the gloss, and I'm gonna pair it with a NYX gloss, and it's in the color Fortune Cookie. See, and I even looked that up and I still had to look. I don't know what it is. So this is what we're gonna do. So you can even like rub it. It is a drop, but I mean, it's very, very matte though. If you're looking for something that's gonna stay, this does, you know, is very good. But I just noticed on my lips, it gets very dry looking, and my lips just look shriveled and crusty after a while. But with a gloss, it's perfect. See, it's a beautiful little color. I think, should I use this one, or I was gonna use my peachy one? We'll go ahead and we'll use this one. Really, this is just with the gloss effect. Which these NYX Butter Glosses, love that. All right, guys, that's our completed look. So what do you think about the eyes? I think it's really, really similar. You definitely see a little more red tones in the Natasha side versus the e.l.f. side. But other than that, I mean, it's a very, very similar look. I think you would have to really even get close up to realize, I mean, this one, because of that other one goes a little higher, it looks like, because I had more white here. But other than that, they look pretty good. And I mean, of course, you're not gonna wear the two different together. You would have the same eye. So I think it's pulling off the look that we're going for. So I think it's a total dupe. You could totally buy that instead of that. I mean, unless you just want the Natasha one, then of course buy it. But definitely buy you some of the e.l.f. ones too. They're $3. Look how beautiful. I mean, the lid color itself, look at that. Now that is a dead-on match almost. Like I said, just a hair of a difference. So these are the ones I used. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments if you like this video and would like to see me do more things like this. I have lots and lots of like fun ideas. So let me know if that's something you're interested in, and I'll see you in my next video, guys. Thank you. And subscribe. Please subscribe.